I didn't realize it over the years, but I had like a pretty crippling like addiction issue with substance, with alcohol and marijuana. Um, I used those things like from a young age, like 18 years old and on, as something as a crutch that I used for getting over trauma, hardship, emotions or stressors in life that I didn't know how to process. Or like I don't show up to the gym, or like I don't work out anymore, or care about my health for really other people around me. Like I'm not showing up at the gym every day to make Eric proud anymore, as much as it is to make myself proud and to be, someone that I'm proud of. Why do I train, and what's my reason today? If I had to just answer with one word, self-improvement, just to be better. Being able to show up like at work for my family, my wife now, and just like be the best version of myself, really. My name's Patrick Chang. I'm 33 years old and born and raised in Arcadia, California. Went to Arcadia High, so I grew up around here. And I mean, gosh, I work in property management. I married my wife, Ginny, last year. Best decision of my life. Yeah, I mean, I got 3 dogs. I have 17 chickens, a parrot. So I'm a big animal person, and a cat. After college, I got really into like sustainable farming and permaculture and stuff, and I got some experience at a few farms, and taking care of the flock there. I just always wanted to have chickens one day. I thought it was cool. Yeah, I just wanted to do it. And after I got my own space, got married, I was like, what better time than now? And so yeah, we did it. We started our flock, my wife and I, like within 2 weeks after our wedding day, which we had our wedding in our backyard. So like our wedding venue was converted into like this chicken farm. So my experience in high school, it was, I tried to play basketball. That was kind of my passion growing up, but due to like skill and physical limitations, I think I just like didn't really have a knack for it. Like had a really tough time just, keeping a spot on the high school team. I would like get cut from the frosh-off team like after summer league, and like I was like the team manager for a year, which sucked. Like that's like the worst thing you could do to yourself as someone who wants to be like on the team. So I quit, and then I did like track and field and like cross country for like a season, and then I in all 4 years I did marching band. I was always in percussion, so I did like drum line, from snare drum to bass drum, and like and other stuff. So I definitely wanted to be like more of an athlete, but I just didn't have I never found like the right sport, or like maybe I just didn't apply myself, or like have the right coach, or whatever it is. But I never really found that within high school, and so that kind of led me into kind of following Eric, my brother, into like CrossFit and like fitness in general. Eric was like a huge reason for me being into basketball, and like wanting to make the team. Like he he didn't really have like a great time with like the high school team either. He like got cut basically, and part of me like wanting to make the team was to make good on his efforts and like complete that for him, kind of like make him proud. And so it was super, like I was so beaten down bad like when I got cut, because I felt like I was letting him down. And like I remember I made the summer league team, and Eric was so happy. He like bought me a brand new pair of Nikes, and I was like, damn, like my brother's so proud of me. I can't get cut. I would like practice like hours outside. Man, dealing with that was not easy. I mean, it definitely humbled me. It was like a huge reality check for me, and like just like my position like in this world, like physically, and like what I'm capable of, like how good and athletic I am at basketball. huge reality check. Basically showed me like, wow, like I'm not shit, you know, like I can't even keep my spot on like the summer league team, you know, and pushed me and propelled me to like find something else. You know, I was considering like, oh, maybe I should try football, but then a lot of my friends are doing track. So it just pushed me to go find something else, and which I did. You know, I tried track, I tried sprinting, I tried distance running, I even tried shot put, and I guess you could say I had like a huge chip on my shoulder as I was exploring all that, and like always trying to just back in my mind thinking like, damn, like I wish I was just good at basketball though, you know, like I wish I was just taller or like more athletic or whatever. Comparing myself to like other guys who were like kept on the team, you know, like just totally so bad for my ego and like my self-confidence. I dealt with it by just pushing myself to go explore more, you know, find something else. And I guess that journey kind of never stopped until actually Eric, you know, Eric got really into fitness and like CrossFit, and then I kind of just followed suit, you know, and kind of made it my thing too. Yeah, I remember I was living at home. Eric, I think, was living at home too, like in the back house of my mom's place. And I wasn't as into it. Kind of just did it because, you know, I enjoyed working out. I loved spending time with my brother. So I would work out with him, you know, sporadically, not as much, no, not even close to as much as he would. And that would kind of be the status quo until like after college. I mean, a little, like not pressure, external pressure, but like kind of like my own pressure, kind of like with the basketball team thing of like, you know, supporting my brother or like making him proud. When the gym was like first starting out, you know, of course I just want to support whatever my brother's doing, you know, so I'd like show up, join the gym, work out with everyone. At 1.0, so I was still in college, I would come back sometimes on the weekends and work out with everyone on Saturdays. You know, it was great, you know, it was like the beginning of, you know, Eric starting Reason. Luke was like, dude, he was like 18 years old, I swear, when he first started. So everyone was just really young. The energy in the gym could be characterized as very young. You know, like Eric and the guys, I remember everyone's like super immature, and like, I mean, shoot, like, arguably still, you know, but like, it was just a good time. I mean, it was just like, you know, a bunch of guys mainly. Now it's like mainly girls in some sense, it feels like, which is cool. There's a balance now, but I mean, I could only reflect and, you know, and just say I have this just nostalgic feeling of, you know, of like the beginning of Reason. Just, it was nothing but good times, man. Beyond the community, which is amazing, I personally come back because like just of my own fitness journey, just becoming more serious with it and kind of finding that fitness, which before was kind of more like a crutch for me, something that was for stress relief, became something much more than that. And that's just through like time and time again of like coming back to fitness or like dialing in my fitness, my nutrition, and having that relationship with fitness kind of evolve over time. I think that's kind of what keeps me coming back. Beyond the community, you know, coaches, the program, like I really full-heartedly believe in it and have experienced it, like the benefits of it. And so that's what keeps me coming back. What clicked and what changed for me is, what helped with it is just the passing of time, I think, and kind of maturing and just going through life, and like my own, like even ties into my spiritual journey, I would say. Going back to like my crutch and like stress relief, I would use Reason Fitness. I used to come to the 5:30 a.m. class for like, gosh, I don't know, maybe like a couple of years. And I would work out from 5:30 to 6:30 class, and then like maybe work out on my own for like another hour, and then go to work and be like the first person at work by like 8 a.m. there till like 7, 8 p.m. And that I didn't do that out of enjoyment. I was like under immense amount of stress and pressure at work to perform, and it was like I couldn't even like, I had a hard time falling asleep then, and I had a hard time going back to sleep if I woke up in the morning. So it would be like 4:30 a.m. I wake up, just like boom, I'm up. So might as well come work out. And while I'm working out, I'm literally processing work and thinking about like the battles and like what I perceived as my enemies at work. And I would literally like, I don't think it's the most healthy thing, but I would just like zero in and kind of mindlessly go through the movements, but just be like analyzing and like in the background processing work like the whole time. And that actually like, I think that actually helped me get really fit. Kind of ironically, like, dude, like if you're like angry or stressed and like you're trying to PR like a back squat or like a clean or whatever, it's like, I mean, it worked, dude. Like, it really pushed me. That was my fuel. And I think that's what, like, that was like a complete shift away from that. Like, it still is, fitness and coming to the gym is still a source of stress relief for me, but that's not like why I do it.
So why is it that you do it now?
Really out of the love for it. You know, I, through these years of, you know, ups and downs with my fitness journey from, you know, like losing and gaining weight, fat and muscle, and like having different, you know, physique, like body fat percentages over the years, and just experiencing these different levels of fitness and health, like tying in not just like what I'm doing physically to get fitter, but like my diet, mental health, all that kind of ended up tying back in, which kind of gave me this new focus on how I see it, which is that of just like overall self-improvement and wellness. And just like being able to show up like at work for my family, my wife now, and just like be the best version of myself, really. Really, I guess for myself, because I realized, you know, and this took time, you know, everyone says it, but like if you can't take care of yourself and show up for yourself, how can you expect to do it for anyone else, right? Like, how could I be a leader at home or like my business if I can't even lead myself and my body to like make the decisions and reach the goals that I have, you know what I mean? Like to practice self-control. I didn't say this earlier, but a big part of it, like this mindset shift for me was actually, I didn't realize it over the years, but I had like a pretty crippling like addiction issue with substance, with alcohol and marijuana. I used those things like from a young age, like 18 years old and on, as, you know, something as a crutch that I used for, you know, getting over trauma, hardship, you know, emotions or stressors in life that I didn't know how to process, and use those things to like kick everything to the curb and, you know, remove it from my focus. And I thought I was kind of dealing with those issues, but I think by dialing in other aspects of my health and my life, it really, like when I'm looking for all these different things to fix in my life, like eventually those things came up as like, maybe those things aren't great for me, you know what I mean? Which I'm like very, very thankful for, because I think through that introspection and like self-reflection of my behaviors and like my emotional state, my spiritual state, it allowed me to kind of overcome, you know, something that I never really truly believed was an issue. Or like I don't show up to the gym, or like I don't work out anymore, or, you know, care about my health for really other people around me. Like I'm not showing up at the gym every day to make Eric proud anymore, you know, as much as it is to make myself proud and to be, you know, someone that I'm proud of, which is definitely like a material shift in mindset from like where I was, I guess, like, you know, 10 plus years ago. Yeah.
And yeah, are you proud of yourself?
Yeah, I'm proud of myself. Yeah. Putting down alcohol and weed was something that I just did like beginning of this year. Like it was, you know, from 18 to 33. It's been, I mean, that's like half my life. Like I've been, you know, pretty much addicted, you know. So that's something I actually really gotta thank God. I think God really helped me through that. It's been something that has been on my heart, and you know, I prayed and sought like, you know, help with. My current goal, so I want to maintain my current body weight and just, what's the word everyone uses? Recomposition. I'm trying to do some recomposition, so pretty much have the same body weight and just up my lean muscle mass, body mass, and lower my fat. I'm not as interested anymore these days about like, oh, like how much do I lift or like anything like that. I mean, maybe like when I'm around certain guys like Darren at the gym, I'm like, I got something to prove, you know? But normally I'm just like, man, I just go off how I feel, and I just want to feel good while I move. I want to avoid injury. I want to warm up well. I want to cool down well and just have like a good training session every day, rather than like, you know, I'm not trying to like squat, bench, or like, you know, deadlift or whatever a certain amount anymore. My fitness serves me in giving me the energy levels that I want, you know, to show up in other areas of life. And that might mean, you know, having the energy or the capacity to like, you know, play with my niece and nephew, and, you know, go hiking on the weekends, and, you know, be able to wake up early and, you know, do strenuous activity, to just have, to feel good every day, you know, and not wake up like Saturday, Sunday morning and, you know, feel like crap and think about how I have to recover for, you know, the coming week, you know. Now it's about giving myself energy and like life for like each coming day, you know. Before it would be like, oh man, I have like this punch list of stuff I gotta do and like all this stuff this week coming up that like I know I'm gonna be stressed out about or unhappy about doing. And so because of that, I wanna like wreck myself at the gym and like go squeeze in the workout that I know, you know, I wanna do today, and I'm gonna miss tomorrow's class, so I'm gonna do it like today. Like I, you know, thinking like that, like it didn't really make sense when you think back. But yeah, it's like totally different relationship and like outlook on fitness. Yeah, like I'm not lifting as much as I used to. I'm not as strong as I used to. My gymnastics is not as good as it used to be, but I'm definitely enjoying it like more than ever, and I feel pretty good in my body as well. I mean, I've been that person like multiple times, and I'm kind of just gonna say like a kind of what's like a pretty cliche here at Reason. Like everyone says this, but I think it's because it's true, and like just show up and, you know, just be here, arrive, be present, go through the movements, like do modified movements, do no weight, just show up though, you know what I mean? And like get started, because like they say it takes like what, X number of weeks or whatever to like create a habit. I believe it. And once you have that habit established, it's like you don't want, like your body's just used to it. Like you don't want to skip a day of the gym anymore, right? Like I just started running recently, you know that, and it's like now if I'm not running a few times a week, I'm like, oh, like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? It's weird. And so I would just say, just show up, just do it. And, you know, I think Reason is a great community to do that, because, you know, everyone's really supportive, non-judgmental, you know, no one's like hyper competitive here, and everyone's extremely welcoming and supportive. So I think, you know, if you're interested in doing something like joining a gym or, you know, started getting serious about your fitness journey, it just starts with one step and just showing up every day and not expecting so much of yourself, and, you know, establishing and defining clear goals that are realistic, but then also like treating yourself with grace and patience, you know, and just giving yourself time, because it's not going to happen overnight. It might not even happen in, you know, a few months. It might take you like a year to really like dial in and like figure out how to like incorporate fitness into your life, you know. But yeah, I think by just showing up and being there, you know, it's a step in the right direction. I would describe the Reason community as it's a pretty mixed bag of people and personalities, which is nice. You know, you don't have like, not everyone's just like one type of person, you know, for lack of better words. So you have a diverse group of people, different backgrounds, different stages in life, but everyone has a really common, I would say probably common goals in their fitness and in terms of their wellness journey. Everyone's really supportive too, and everyone, I kind of already said that, but everyone wants to see each other do well. And I don't know if that's like the Reason community thing or like a CrossFit community thing or maybe kind of both. But like people are cheering each other on at the end of workouts when they finish first. We're all cheering on the person that's still working out. We celebrate people's successes here. Bright Spot Fridays, where we share the bright spot as it's related to our fitness journey for the week. I think just celebrating each other's wins and having a community that wants to see you thrive and be a better version of yourself. I mean, putting yourself around those types of people it's never a bad thing, in my opinion. What's hard to explain about Reason is the community. It's getting someone who's used to going to like a commercial gym or working out on their own to like understand like what's the benefit of like working out in a group, especially if they don't like that idea, right? They're like, well, it's like, I'm like, people have said like, well, I don't know how to help these people, but some people are like, I'm not there to make friends and like be social, like I just want to get a good workout in type of people. There's people like that, and it's like, yeah, sure, but even then, if you don't have to go be everyone's buddy and like learn everyone's life story, but it's nice struggling in company, and like having a coach or someone to guide you on the movement, or like, for me, I think it kind of does help if like I'm working out next to someone, and they're watching me perform a lift or something. I want to make sure like I'm more cognizant of how my form is, and it might even give me a little boost in my performance, like a little more energy than I might have if I'm just working out by myself. So I mean, I would say, I think a lot of people don't realize it, but they would actually appreciate group workout settings when they're like intimidated or put off by it. But I always say like, don't knock something until you try it. My fitness journey in the next 5 years, I would think it looks like really dialing in like my nutrition and like whatever programming I'm doing. Right now I'm just following, Reason's class workouts and like doing my own running program and stuff on the side. But kind of finding, I think what I want is to really define my goal first of all. I talked about body recomposition, but because of how much I find myself enjoying fitness these days, I'd like to establish goals beyond just class. So that's probably something I'd need some guidance from a coach on. But yeah, I'd like to create some loftier goals for myself. Hopefully I could do the body recomposition and then some. Maybe put on like 10, 20 pounds of muscle or something. That would be awesome. I wouldn't complain about that. But I know it's not easy to get there. So putting together some type of plan for that. Why do I train and what's my reason today? If I had to just answer with one word, self-improvement, just to be better. Thanks for listening to my story, and Karen, if you do, and yeah, and love you guys, and I feel extremely grateful to be part of this community. My name is Patrick Chang, and I am a Reason athlete.